Well, I'm glad you're still here with us. Before my colleague Densiwa left, we were talking about the issue of tourism, how best you can support as a Ugandan citizen, because we tend to focus more on, the foreign tourists or anything. And tourism comes in so many forms, okay? Now, there's so many festivals that have been happening in terms of our food. Different kinds of food, but I think this particular one, I've had them before, the Edigobe Food Festival. They are focusing on culture, the kind of pots you use, the kind of food you're eating, how you're relating with the people. And I think that's quite convenient, especially considering that this is what we are every day of our lives, if any of us has not forgotten who we are. But with me in studios right next to me is Rwamsigazi. Chakunzire, yes, forgive me, my mother tongue comes in there. And he is, of course, the director. And, of course, this is the second time that you're having the Edigobe Food Festival. You're very welcome.
Thank you.
Yes, indeed. And at the extreme end there is Peter Lusembo. I say that correctly? He is the treasurer Rotary Club of Gaba. You're very welcome. I'm really interested, and of course we're going to eventually find out the relationship, between the Rotary Club and the Edigobe Food Festival. But first, Edigobe Food Festival, what are we talking about?
Okay, this is the second installment of the Edigobe Food Festival. It happens at Green Valley Hotel, and this time it's going to be on 23rd November. What we're looking at is attracting people to our authentic African food and the way, basically how it was prepared. And we are bringing out the pots, we are bringing out the calabash, the way our food was prepared. And the other thing also to note is the fact that we are also bringing out the nutrition in our food. We're not using boiled food, we are not using oil, we're using basically boiled food. It's its natural setting. So with this, we want to attract people to come and reignite that fire of having to eat African food.
Okay. Now, it's very interesting, I must say, and of course there's a number of things that we need to look into. But this is the second time. I'm going to get to you very shortly. This is the second time, yes?
Yes.
Tell us more about why you decided we need to have a second Edigobe Food Festival.
Well, this is African food, right? Every day we need to eat food, right? And for me, our thinking was that it shouldn't be a one-off event that happens once in a year. It should be something that happens every now and often, so that because we want to bring it to our people every now and then, to know that our food is here and it's here to stay. Yes.
That is very interesting. And you're saying second time is a charm, and you're saying let us involve some people. So how do you, first of all, when we talk about the Rotary Club, I know people have so many ideas of the Rotary Club. So when we talk Rotary Club, especially now the Gaba, what are we talking? Well, generally the Rotary Club.
Rotary Club, generally, Rotary is a service organization. You have heard about polio. Rotary International has been at the vanguard of eradicating poverty from the world. So, Rotary Club of Gaba subscribes to Rotary International. In Gaba, we do service, community service.
Community service.
Rotary is the organization where you pay to provide service. So, Rotary Club of Gaba, we fellowship at the Green Valley, and the Green Valley organizing this Edigobe Food Festival. And the proceeds from that Edigobe are going to help us implement a project in the Katogo village. Katogo is a settlement near to National Water and Sewage Corporation water pump. As you go towards the Gaba, you might not be able to notice that area. But you only have to be close and see the kind of appalling conditions we are staying in. I've just talked to the chairman. We have a population of close to 6,000 people.
Close to 6,000?
And unfortunately, I haven't seen a waterborne toilet in that community. What you see there are raised latrines, very close to each other. You will see some people sleeping their head next to the latrine.
So basically we have leaning houses, leaning sanitary.
Stored latrines, stored, And the drainage system is the poorest you can think of. You look at green water and you know what goes down there.
It's terrible.
God forbid it. Yeah, all broke out.
I'm surprised it has not yet. So, gentlemen, because our sound was a bit low earlier on, real quick, we're just going to do a flip and go through a couple of things. And what we had talked about is the second time this is happening, and you're saying, well, this is the right time. Just again to take us through. Yeah.
The first time, like we said, was for us. The first time was like a dry run, getting to know,
see
basically how deep can we go with this festival.
Okay.
And the reason why it has to happen every now and then is that this is our food. It's not a festival that is going to happen once in a year. We want to keep this around so that the people don't forget. It's something that you have to constantly remind our people. Until one point they are going to totally disregard the other foods and then come back to eating our
We
food.
seem to have forgotten our own kinds of food. And if the Rotary comes in and says we need to be a part of this project, yeah, just take us through again in regards to why this is important to you as Rotary Club.
Well, Green Valley Hotel, the organizer of Edigobe, the managing director, is a Rotarian in our club, and we conceived this idea of raising funds to support Rotary International, and now this Edigobe had already taken place, so we want to fuse it. So that is part of the Green Valley Hotel, and in this process we raise funds for our Rotary activities.
Yes, and you talked about a specific area of about 6,000 people.
About 6,000 people in less than a square mile.
Oh.
And much as they are next to National Water and Sewage Corporation, the sanitary conditions there are appalling. But there must have been a misconception that maybe any time that community, because it is in a swamp area, it would go away. But for the past few years,
They're still
the community
there
has kept
and
growing,
growing.
and in the near future, we might even cross the river and go to Munyonyo side. So we need to do something about that community.
Now, this is important. I know, of course, like you said, Rotary, you service, group or club, but why else is this important to you? Because some people may say, well, that's Rotary, they do charity works. But there are people there are clubs that exist, but they don't necessarily do the real work of involving themselves in things like this. I know you're from Gaba, so maybe that's why it's important to you, but also, why say, okay, we're not going to have questions, let us just do this, it's important to us.
Well, that we are a service organization, and we are in Gaba. The Green Valley is next to Katoba. In fact, Green Valley is even in Katoba itself because there's share boundaries. When you are in some of their rooms, when you look down there, what you see, you might think you are in the ghettos of South Africa. But Green Valley is very clean, meticulously clean. But just across, just the fence separating them, it is appalling. And as the Rotary Club of Gaba, and the Rotary is people made of good character. If somebody just crossed over into that community, they might probably not even want to come back to Green Valley. So we have partnered with the Green Valley so that we can improve the sanitary conditions of Togo community, so that we can even be proud.
Yes, and what better way than to go through an event like this that celebrates culture and food. So what should people expect?
Well,
the same as the...
Not the same as the other, because now we're wrapping up.
Okay.
Wrapping up again, yeah. What people should expect the best, absolutely, because we have worked up the food, the kind of dishes we had last time. We want to up them up. The entertainment, we have games, we have sports. So it's something that you should look out for as a family person. Bring your kids out, bring your mama, bring your everyone. We want this to be a big event.
Are we still seeing food in the...
Absolutely, that's the key. That's the key.
Maybe what I would add is that the Edigobe is fused in we have what we call a signature project. We have what we call a cultural gala. Now the cultural gala is food and attire.
Also, people should show up.
And we expect people to come dressed in Sharia, I don't know, this thing of...
Not the Western wear.
No, not the way I'm dressed. Maybe I put a casual that time, maybe even a go.
Okay, that's interesting. So it's fun because anyway, in the era we are in, people have to dress up for events. So that's a very very good idea when you say, well, show up dressed from probably where you come from or what you're comfortable with.
You represent,
sense of culture.
Your culture, yeah.
And maybe what I would add is that the funds we are going to get from this activity, we are trying to establish what we call eco-sun toilets. Now with latrines, the waste, you know, when the rain comes, some of these guys, they just put vents and then the thing goes right into the water. But an eco-sun toilet, the waste is put in a chamber, which chamber ferments the excreta. Then after about 6-7 months, the excreta is turned into humus, because when it is deposited there in a watertight chamber, you put a bit of ash or lime. Then when it is almost getting filled up, you move the eco-sun toilet, put it to another chamber. As this one ferments and the composites, this one is going to be turned into manure. And then when you are using these eco-sun toilets, the urine goes into some other chamber, and the urine is a direct fertilizer. So we want to eat very many birds with one stone, so that the communities can use the urine for fertilizer, and this one will be made into compost to fertilize other crops.
That's a very good way of
Then the other key factor also to add on to that, most of the toilets, the latrines we have, they drain into the rivers and the lakes. So what happens is that we are directly consuming the sewage, because now we're in Gaba. That's why we have the national water pump that pumps all the water we consume in Kampala, right? So all the people in this community, their sewage will be directly be taken in by the sewage system. So you'll find that the whole water of Kampala is a bit contaminated. So that's one of the reasons why we want to make sure that we alleviate this problem.
Now, we're talking about the money that will be gotten to take back to the charity and things like that. How much are we looking at in terms of entry to get into the Edigobe Festival?
Entry is actually 50,000. So you pay 50,000, and that's your one-way ticket to having everything. Yeah, we have. If you want to drink a shande, if you want to drink moramba, we'll have bushera. We'll have all kinds of local brew and local foods. So you can come and have a good time in an African traditional setting.
So when is this? You said 23rd?
It's on the 23rd of November.
Okay.
Yes.
Same venue?
Same venue, Green Valley Hotel in Gaba.
Okay.
Yes.
So this is quite interesting, and I like that you look at towards the end of November there, because most people are planning their holiday.
Yeah, sure.
Like that.
Sure.
So I know you have a number of colleagues that are going to also show up and be a part of this. What other way? Are we only looking at the money that you get at the entrance, or meaning some of the other things that people are purchasing around?
Okay, since it's a charity event, we hope to have like pledges.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we have presentations that we are going to be presenting, because this is a big thing. So in all of this, we'll have people pledging. You could say, I'm pledging my support, I'm pledging my time to be able to help this community. Basically, that's it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So anyone can walk up to you. You have a specific place where
Yes, we have.
What I would say, that the project we are undertaking for the funds we are raising is the big one. If there are 60,000 people, in fact, you might see good-looking girls in the evening walking out of these shanties, but when you go and look at where they come from, you might even shudder. So we are just starting. We think this is going to be a big project, and we not only cover Katogo, so this
we
eventually it cover most of the, especially the landing sites around Lake Victoria, even beyond. So we are going to drum this cause that Edigobe is going to be just to start off this kind of activity. Yesterday, the district governor was in our community and say, "Oh, Rotary is good. You are starting in the communities themselves around your places of fellowship." Normally, project we take a project to where we come from, our home areas, or whatever. But with us, we are doing it in Katogo, a stone's throw from our meeting place. So this is just a starting point. We are going to drum up support. We want people to come and help us improve these communities.
So this is very interesting. And I like that you're looking at the aspect of culture and the food in which, different cultures. So basically you're celebrating different cultures.
Yes, absolutely.
So while we're promoting our own and promoting tourism, we're benefiting from it.
We're benefiting our communities. Yes. And the other thing also, like I said, this water, the drainage, it drains into Lake Victoria.
It seems like the whole country needs to work on this.
Yeah, it's a big issue, and we have we also call upon the government to also come and help be a part of this, because in the end, the health ministry is concerned.
You should also invite the minister.
Yeah.
We have started, the minister is coming.
Yes.
We are making contacts.
Absolutely.
Okay,
Yeah.
that would be good. A good
And the
post.
big organizations, the MTNs, the National Water Corporation, everybody who thinks
concerned.
we should help these communities move away from where they are to some higher level, they should get involved in this kind of activity.
Okay, that is a very good one. I think most of you are out there probably listening.
Yeah.
It's for a good cause. And not just that, while we also promote who we are and what we are. So I like that you guys have this partnership. So I'm going to ask you, because of time, to give us your final words, gentlemen. I'll start with you, Peter, and then I'll come to you.
The final word is that we are appealing to our colleagues and friends out there to come on 23rd. We raise funds. We are just starting. We want to raise funds and improve the livelihoods of the people who stay in these slum areas, so that when you're staying near a poor neighbor or a sick neighbor, the chances are that you might also get sick. So let us improve the health of these neighbors, so that we can have a better Uganda in future.
While enjoying yourselves, of course. While enjoying yourselves.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. Still on the same point is the fact that I want to invite all the people, good-willing people, to come and be a part of this noble cause. Let's help our communities. Let's help our people to alleviate the situation they're in. Because if you don't help your neighbor, no one is also going to help you when you're in trouble. Yeah. So come 23rd November. Come to Green Valley Hotel. Come and support.
Okay. So this is a whole day event, eh?
Yeah, it's a whole day event, and it goes on till late.
Interesting.
Yes.
So what, no kids allowed?
Yeah, it's
When
a
it's
fun.
not too late.
It's too late. Okay.
You live at leisure.
During the
You
day.
live at leisure.
Yeah, you live at leisure, but we have a family setting during the day
Oh, okay.
for family, and then in the evening, those
Put out all the local brews, eh?
absolutely, yeah, absolutely.
That's quite interesting.
Yes.
So, guys, 23rd, those of you who want to, you can actually, I'm not saying those of you want, please make sure that you go for this. This is a very good cause. It's not, while of course you have a good time, but just know that whatever you paid to get in there is going back to the communities. So, can I borrow the one that is enjoying responsibly?
Yes.
Because then you're contributing while,
Enjoying.
Indeed. Well, thank you so much, gentlemen. I do appreciate you for your time. Right next to me, I've got it this time, Rwamsigazi. Yes? I'm sorry, my mother tongue comes in as well. Rwamsigazi Chakunzire. Oh, thank God. And of course, this is the second time I'm having you.
Sure, yeah.
But this time around, you came with someone, and that is Peter Lusembo, who is the treasurer of Rotary Club. Kaba. And they're partnering this time. They're looking at how do we get to involve people while reminding ourselves of who we are and enjoying ourselves, of course. Thank you so much, gentlemen.
Thank you too.
Yes. It is a Friday. Be careful out there. Take care of yourselves. And remember, it's not just your life you're responsible for. If you're not responsible for your life and you're being selfish to your friends, your family, your children, whatever it is, you need to figure out, even to the country, so you need to take care of yourselves out there. It's a very tricky situation. Security-wise, it starts with us. Let's not just look at the bigger picture, but we need to also do that. But while we get ourselves set and get our money kept aside for 23rd of November, well, thank you so much for watching Business Today. My name is Rowena Kajuma. From me and the entire team, have yourselves a lovely weekend.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, gentlemen.